Welcome to Radically Loved Radio. I am your host, Rosie Acosta, yoga teacher and teacher trainer, mindfulness coach, speaker, and creative writer. I am also the founder of radicallylove.com, a website where you can go for more information about yoga, mindfulness, meditation, and lifestyle advice. On this podcast, we talk to people within our health and wellness community that are creating content through the ritualistic practice of yoga, meditation, or overall mindful living. We hope to create value in your life so that you can achieve your highest potential and live a radically loved life. To stay in touch with us, just follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Rosie Acosta and on Facebook at Radically Loved Rosie. You can sign up for our newsletter on radicallylove.com to stay up to date on future workshops, retreats, and latest podcasts. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Radically Loved Radio. I'm joined today by Vinny Lobdell, who is the president of Intellipure, and I am so excited to have him on the show. He is somebody that has brought so many things to my awareness that I wasn't aware of, and it's regarding the health and well-being of our household, and he is probably one of the most knowledgeable people that I've found to date, and we're so lucky to have him on our show, and I can't wait for you guys to meet him and for him to tell us a little bit about what he does. Vinny, welcome to the show.
Hey, Rosie. Thank you so much for having me. It's a real honor to be here with you, and really excited to share with your audience kind of what we've learned over the past 20 to 25 years, and what an honor to be with you.
I'm so excited. So for the people that are watching this on YouTube or the people that are listening on the podcast, tell the audience a little bit about you and what you do.
So, well, we do a lot. At Intellipure, we're basically a company that's engineered and built, manufactured air quality equipment for the past. It's very important to us that we're looking at the healthy home environment. Air quality has become such a major issue over the past 5 years, certainly with the movement of diagnostics and air quality monitoring. So our company really is a thought leader in the space of air quality, air cleaning, air purification, and really helping people better understand their built environments and how their built environments impact their health. And so what we'd like to kind of share with you today is some of those things that can possibly impact your health negatively, and how there's simple steps and more advanced steps that you can take to create a healthier indoor environment.
Well, and I think it's something that we don't necessarily think about on a daily basis. And you and I, we spoke, and Tori and I just recently bought a house. And so this is something that was at the forefront of my awareness. But again, even for somebody like me that's health conscious, it wasn't something that I was really thinking about until it was brought to my attention. And I'm so happy that you did, and that I started to do more research on how damaging the air quality that we breathe could be for our health, like our overall health, not just our lungs, but everything about, our immune system. If you have allergies, it's something that can impact any route you're taking towards health and wellness. Is that right?
Absolutely. So most people relate poor air quality to temperature or humidity. It's either too warm or too cold. It's either too humid or not humid enough. And really what we found is that 96, there's a recent USA Today article that came out this weekend that said 96% of all homes have at least one major air quality problem. And it's really the way we're living in our built environment, how we're occupying our built environment. And I think people are becoming more aware of that now simply because there's low cost IAQ monitoring tools, but really how we're living in our space. We're building our homes very, very tight, and the homes can't breathe. And we're doing that because of energy costs, right? I mean, we want to lower the energy costs in our home. And what we found is by building our homes so tight, we've basically created a time-bound solution. So whether we're using candles, or we're fragrancing our homes, or we're using certain carpets or certain paints to paint our homes, these are all creating this basically soup of pollution in our home. And then you add to it dogs and cats and people and all these things. What we have is a really, really unhealthy situation in our homes. And the biggest problem we have, Rosie, is we really can't see this problem. The problem is something that's invisible to most people. And so really we see that as the number one challenge facing people today with air pollution is in many cases, we just can't see it.
Why is it that we don't spend more time? Like, how come I don't see this on the news? Like, why don't I hear about this?
Well, I think it's probably because you're so focused on what you're doing. We find that people, unless they can see it tangibly, right? But if you just do a superficial Google search on air pollution or type it into your Google alerts, and you'll find that this information is everywhere. We're finding that there's more and more awareness around it. We see home builders now adopting, green energy buildings. You see all these movements towards healthier spaces. So I think it's probably because you're so focused on the things you're focused on. But we're finding much more awareness in the space of, healthier.
Yeah, it's interesting because I grew up in LA, and I do remember there being times when friends of mine would say that they couldn't go outside. This is like South Pasadena area, and I know that the air quality there, because it's in a basin, I think they get like the brunt of it, that they wouldn't be let out for recess because the air quality was bad. And I couldn't even comprehend what that meant, because I'm like, no, it doesn't look polluted at all. I can see everything. Like, I would think about pollution as this big cloud of, dark
Black cloud.
Yeah, totally. Where I can't even imagine what a filter looks like after you pull it out from running it for a day,
Well, it's certainly that way in India and China. We spend a lot of time in those markets, and you'll actually see the pollution. It's pretty amazing to actually see. But what you'll find here in the U.S. is that there's an AQI index, which basically gives you the indication of air quality, and the government actually tracks it on a basis. So your local news talks about it. There was an article that just came out today by on the BBC that said they're going to actually start notifying home buyers of the air pollution in each market, because that homes in highly polluted markets are going to be less valuable. So there's certainly been a shift over the last few years in people becoming aware of, first, air pollution, and second, the impacts of air pollution. And so it's really, I think, until that correlation comes full circle, people say, oh, yeah, it's polluted outside. You may not know this, but indoor environments, they say, are 3 to 5 times, up to 100 times more polluted than outdoor environments. And basically why that is because all inside air is made up of outside air. And then it's really hard to let the space circulate and to get air exchange. So you're basically building up all the chemicals, all the fragrances, all the benzenes or toluenes or particulate inside the home. And that's why the EPA states that indoor air quality is 3 to 5 times, up to 100 times worse than outdoor air quality. So what you can simply do is go out and just, you can take an AQI reading. It's online. You can find that anywhere. And it'll give you an outdoor air quality reading in your market. And then you can just extrapolate that it's likely to be that your air quality inside is 3 to 5 times worse.
Wow. That is so scary and impressive at the same time.
It's scary. Yeah, it really is. And what's the scariest thing about it, Rosie, and we're just starting to figure this out because there's been so much time and effort by a lot of really smart people spent on what are the impacts, what are the negative impacts of poor indoor air quality. And it used to be where people would just relate it to allergies or asthma or respiratory difficulties. We now know that one of the leading causes of stroke is air pollution. Not just stroke, but cancer, cardiovascular disease, dementia. Major causes of infertility, they're saying now, is indoor air pollution in a whole. And so what's happening is it's these ultra fine particles, these particles that are much smaller than what most filters capture, that are going directly to our bloodstream and making people sick. And so you don't take my word for it. You can just do a superficial Google search and say in air pollution and disease, and you'll find hundreds of peer-reviewed articles on the negative and potentially devastating impact of air pollution.
Wow. I think about that because, especially moving, we just moved to the Valley, and the Valley is typically 10 degrees hotter than closer towards the west side. And so that means we're running our air conditioning a lot, mostly all day. We try to open the windows and the doors early in the morning, and then again at night, just to get some airflow in. But what do you think that, somebody like me that's health conscious and I want to be able to do what I can with, the water that I'm drinking, with the food that I'm eating and the water that I'm cooking with and the air that I'm breathing. Like, what are things that we can do to improve that?
Well, I think the key to wellness really, and you focus one on, the spiritual and mental part of wellness is so huge. And I think positive attitudes and connecting spiritually is so important. But there's very simple things we can do for our physical health and well-being. And that comes into exactly what you just mentioned. First, looking at how you're occupying your built environment. You're cooling your air essentially 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So making sure that system is maintained properly. Making sure that you have a high quality, high efficiency filter installed on that AC system, so you're filtering all that air as it comes in. We always tell people air quality diagnostics. There's very inexpensive independent hardware now that you can purchase. That hardware gives you a full-time readout of the air quality in your home. And so you can put these small sensors in your space. It'll tie your iPhone or your Android and give you a real clear understanding of what your relative humidity is, what the temperature is, what the particle count is in your home, what the VOC level is in your home. And VOCs are volatile organic compounds. So these are the things like off-gassing of walls, draperies, carpets, the benzenes, the formaldehydes that could potentially be in the space. So I think first, everything is empowerment, right? The knowledge to understand first in your space. And then second, how we can help eliminate that. And there are a lot of things you can do that don't really cost a lot of money to make a significant positive impact in the space. First, stop using chemicals to clean your home, right? Instead of using Cloroxes and bleaches, look at using high quality green cleaners that basically give you the same level of cleaning, but without the toxic chemicals. Instead of fragrancing with candles, and I know they smell great, or air fresheners, look at using some non-toxic or some biodegradable fresheners. Looking at the air quality outdoors, getting an idea of what the air quality is outdoors, and opening a window is sometimes a great option. Turning on a ceiling fan when you're in the bathroom and when you have the high humidity, making sure you're ventilating the space. There's a lot of simple ways. We also tell people it even ties into your lighting, right? The mental well-being and the physical and spiritual well-being of your space or you is really, it's all one. And the key to this is making sure that you're not using your cell phone at 9 o'clock before you go to bed. That really it disrupts your sleep. So all those things, I think, mental well-being, spiritual well-being, physical, it's all one thing. And to tie it all together is very, very important. And there's really, really simple things we can do to make a positive impact.
Wow, you just listed a ton of them. I'm so excited for everybody that's listening to this to be able to get that information, because I feel like it's one of those things where people can feel so overwhelmed by something like air. Like people feel a little bit disempowered, like they don't feel like they can do anything. And I think that by doing all of these things that you're saying will help create a better environment overall. Is that right?
Yeah, like Rosie, you're moving into a new home. You just moved into a new home. We have another a wellness expert that moved into a place down in New York City, and she bought a very well-known mattress, and the mattress was off-gassing and creating a really unhealthy space for her. And so we shipped her a machine and we shipped her sensing, and she really understood how that VOC level was impacting her health. And so it's almost as simple as all the daily habits we look at. Are you buying the right mattress? Are you when you're moving into a new home and you're going to paint the baby's bedroom or paint your new master bedroom, are you painting with non-VOC paints? There's really simple things that we can do that don't really cost much more than traditional methods that can make an incredible positive impact in your space.
I'm so fascinated by the mattress thing. Like, how does that work? Tell me about, is my mattress giving, we have to test my mattress.
Yeah. So what happens a lot of the times, especially these mattresses that are shipped to you, and, you can get these mattresses and they just pull out of a box and you plug them in or whatever. A lot of times you pay for what you get. Don't let people ever fool you that you pay for what you get. And what we found is that there's certain mattresses that we don't name names, but we can share with you. It's really unhealthy. They create a high level of VOCs in the space that can create a really harmful impact. And these VOCs are known to cause certain cancers. Formaldehyde is one of the biggest causes of cancer. So really important to evaluate, especially if you're going to spend lots of money on these products and you're really into wellness and health. You really need to look at the products you buy and make sure that they're proven and make sure that they really stand the test of
Yeah. Oh, I love that. It's one of the reasons that I found this to be something super important, and I wanted to share this with our audience is because, I'm a yoga teacher. I spend a lot of time in a yoga studio, and that was one of the first things that you said to me, the air that we're breathing inside of a yoga studio. So much of our practice, meditation, pranayama, breathing exercises, they're all focused around our breath and breathing deeply and being able to really connect to that part of ourselves. But what if the air that we're really taking in, instead of creating a detoxifying result, it's creating more toxins?
So what excites me the most about this industry is that it's really bad. Air quality is really bad. The World Health Organization states that it's the number one health concern facing humans worldwide.
Wow.
But there's so much we can do now to really change the way we live. And technology's done that. I think one of the things that technology's done is it's really opened our minds and given us some intelligence on to see what's in the space. But you're exactly right. Now understanding that air pollution is the number one health risk facing humans, and it's potentially much worse inside, especially in the spaces you're exercising in, we're inhaling deeply. These ultrafine particles are making us sick. And so I think we have to take the necessary steps, especially inside of those spaces. We're working with fitness centers. We're working with many different applications. There's a lot of people, it's even worse. So it's all about occupancy, how the building's ventilated, all these things come into play. And that's why recirculation of air, high-end portable air cleaners still have a very significant space in the marketplace.
Yeah. And I also know that you have partnered with a lot of hotels as well.
Yeah, so we have a great program that we developed about 14 years ago. It's called Pure Wellness Rooms. So Pure Wellness is the name of our sister company. And what we looked at was it's more of an indoor environmental quality program. A more holistic view of the space. And so what we've been able to do is look at how walls, draperies, carpets, surfaces impact the space, treat them, seal them, clean them, make sure that there's a continuous ongoing process around making sure they're healthy and well. State-of-the-art medical grade air cleaning, which is circulating the air at all times to keep the particle count as low as possible. And then water treatment. Water treatment's so crucial. I mean, the word "we are what we eat" is so crucial. And whether it's what we're eating organically, what we're drinking as it relates to purity, what we're feeding our minds, and what we're breathing in is so crucial. And all these things tie together. And I think as someone that understands this so much like yourself, it's crucial that we spread this message on just wellness, what we eat, what we breathe, what we sleep in, etc.
Yeah, I think that it's, again, like I said, something that is so important. One of the most important things that I hadn't realized how important it is. And I find that, especially the older I get, I want to be able to do what I can to keep the best optimum health that I could. And
Sure.
things that I never thought about were affecting my health, like those things, air, like I said, air quality, water, the choices that we're making in our environment, cleaning products, and I find that for me, like I tout myself on being very health conscious, and I have all the good cleaning supplies in my house. We were very specific with choosing the right paint for our house and
Very smart.
these things, getting a ridiculously overpriced reverse osmosis system for our house, like those types of things where I felt, that this was the biggest missing piece, I think, especially the air. I'm like, what good is all that other stuff if you don't have clean air?
Exactly right. I think, how long can we live without air? And so I think that's what we're seeing. We're seeing now because of sensing, because of monitoring, because of intelligence, we can actually see the correlation between air quality, air pollution, and how it's impacting our health. It goes back to water. You say ridiculously expensive. It may have cost a lot, but the value's there.
Oh yeah.
We always have to kind of look back at what we're trying to accomplish with our investments, and it's a significant investment in your health.
Yeah.
I can tell you it'll certainly pay off.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I find that anymore there are so many different cost-effective ways that you can do this. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars. I mean, you can absolutely. Obviously, you and I both know that you can spend thousands and thousands of dollars to do this, revamp to your environment, but it doesn't have to cost that much. And there are more products that are coming out that are more cost effective and ways that people can redirect their funds. I always think the way that we spend our money on things that we find important, or when we don't realize how money's siphoned away to like little things. If you spend, $5 to $7 every day on a coffee or whatever, you start to think about those types of things that can be directed into, purchasing something for your home that's going to be better for your health, that you don't have to spend, thousands of dollars later
Sure.
when you're sick. You know what I mean?
100%. So I think what happens is through education now, there's a lot of really useful tips on how we can create healthier spaces. And it's all about education. It's all about informing our audiences. I mean, our whole goal at our organization is to make a positive impact. We contribute a lot of our money back to charity. Put that aside. What we're here to do is really educate people on the major issues with air pollution and provide true solutions to those problems. It's similar to what you're trying to accomplish, to really make a positive impact in people's lives. But I think it goes back to the intelligence side of it. We're developing a system right now that's going to basically tie sensing to intelligence. And what that'll do for people is that'll give them an idea where, Rosie accosted in bedroom number 3, there's a high level of VOCs. And it'll actually give you your outdoor air quality reading. They'll give you an indoor air quality reading. They'll tell you the air quality outside is good today, open a window. And so it'll actually empower you to make the right decisions. We just had another case where we installed the Super V system in the child care center. And what they found was in the morning where they had their paints, the air pollution was really bad. The paints were off-gassing where the kids were painting. And so now they actually changed that habit based on the sensing and gave them the ability to understand how their habits and how their interactions with the built environment. So this is what it's all about. How can we better educate ourselves and empower ourselves to live healthier in any space?
Yeah. Well, so how do you think, and by the way, thank you for being a crusader in this space, because I think what you're doing is life-changing and saving lives. And I just really admire and I'm inspired by the work that you're doing.
Oh, thank you. I feel the same way.
Oh, that's great. That's always nice.
Yes.
So what can people do? The people that are listening to us right now, and they're really into the information that you're teaching, and they're becoming more curious now about their own environment. They're doing some self-inquiry. They're going to go home and like inspect everything and
Sure.
research. What can they do?
Well, what's really interesting about what we've done at Intellipure.com is really simple. We have a zip code locator there. Educational only. You can go and type your zip code in there. It'll actually give you a metrics of what your indoor air quality likely is. And all that's doing is taking the air quality index and extrapolating that number and timesing it by 4. It's going to basically give you an idea if your indoor air quality is bad. What we also do for people, a tremendous amount of resources to help educate them. If they're traveling, we always tell people pureroom.com is an excellent way, just the way it's spelled, pure, and then room.com, an excellent way for them to educate themselves on unique travel tips, how to stay healthy while on the road, how to beat jet lag, but also where they can locate Pure Rooms, which is that 7-step patented process that we developed to really create a healthier travel experience for people. And it was really special and dear to my heart because I travel 200 days a year, and I always found it very challenging to find a space that was healthy and well when I was traveling. So that's a great experience as well. But we really think that the goal with what we're trying to accomplish is we looked at the 3 pollutant categories one would find in a home, VOCs and bioaerosols, which are the virus, molds, bacteria found in the home. And now you hear mycotoxins and all these things. We wanted to really develop the first system that effectively dealt with all 3 pollution categories. And we've done that across a range of products. And we're really excited and passionate about the impact that they're making on people.
Wow, I love that. And I do. I love that we just went into this podcast and just got straight to the information. And
Yeah.
I think that's so great. I just have a question for you because you are obviously extremely passionate about what you're doing and the information that you're presenting to the world. What inspired you to make this your life's work?
Well, I saw such a need. And this was early on. So for 20 years, we've really looked at this space and we knew it was going to get worse and worse. We've had people that struggled significantly in our family. There's really a lot of things that inspire me, but making a positive impact in people's lives, doing something that really makes a difference is what we're all about. So we really want to touch people in a way that we know it's the world's number one health problem. We really want to develop solutions, and we saw that opportunity. And so, that's really what's inspired me to get involved with this business and stay involved with it. When we started Pure back, 15 years ago, I can tell you there weren't many people looking for Pure rooms. And when we started our parent company 30 years ago, there weren't many people looking for Pure. So this has been a passion for us, and we've stayed the course. And I think it comes down to one of the other things that really inspires me, and that's faith. Obviously I'm religious, but it's not faith necessarily in the religious meaning. It's more faith in understanding that all things work together for one good, positive thing. And so even through the ups and downs, we've really focused on building a brand and building brands that make a positive difference in people's lives.
No, I love that. We love faith on this podcast. So that's good.
Yep.
It was a great driving.
And the other thing that inspires me, I think it's probably the best thing in life, is so what I found is people that really, no matter what they're up against in life, they really find ways to be kind to other people. And so those are inspiring things to me.
Wow. Do you have a mantra that you use in your life, or a piece of advice that somebody's given you that it's stuck with you?
Yeah, I certainly do. There's a few things I always tell people, and these are sayings that have been out there for a long time. But the first is, if you're not making a positive impact in someone's life, and this kind of ties in with what I just said. And also, be kind to everyone, because everyone's fighting a tough battle. And I found that even in my ups and downs, personally, financially, business-wise, it's really staying course and persevering. And it's in those challenging times that we find the greatest advancements and the greatest ways to build ourselves and create resiliency. And so I've just been blessed really with a great family, a blue collar family that worked tremendously hard to give my sister and myself more than they had. And my father's been a very close partner of mine in all the businesses that we've grown. So it's been a blessing for me to work hand in hand with him and learn from his experiences and see the amount of time and effort he's put and passion he's put into this. And then also to kind of make a positive impact in our community. We're in a very small upstate New York community that we've revitalized. We've built a movie theater there for the community. We've redone much of Main Street, and we've added a tremendous amount of jobs in the local community. And that's been, I would say, probably one of the least financially rewarding things we've ever done, but the most personally rewarding things we've ever done. So it's I've learned a lot in the last few years.
I love that. Thank you so much. So for the people that are listening to this, or the people that are watching this on YouTube, where can they go for more information, and where can they maybe perhaps purchase an Intellipure product for their home? Like, where do they go if they're ready?
So it's Intellipure.com. Excuse me, very simple, Intellipure.com. There they can find a lot of information, some great content to talk about different things, how it impacts air quality. They can do the zip code search there and see what their air quality may be like. So it's Intellipure.com. And we've listened to people like Rosie. We've listened to a lot of the other people that we work with, and we've built a range of products now that really are affordable to anybody. And it's based on size, and we guarantee 100% 5-star guarantee, white glove. And then if you're traveling, it's pureroom.com. We have people traveling. We have roughly 5,000 Pure rooms installed globally. We're growing rapidly. And if you're traveling and looking for the best night's sleep while on the road, they can visit pureroom.com.
Wow. Thank you so much. So for the people that are watching this or listening to this on the podcast, all of those links will be in the info button. So if you just go to the info button, all of those links will be there. and you can check it out, and then you can send us your questions. Vinny, if they want to get a hold of you directly, are you on social media at all?
Oh yeah. So believe it or not, our company is. I only do LinkedIn. I'm very, very busy, so I try to keep all the other things out of my life. And
Smart.
yeah, it's been one of the things that I focus the hardest on. But they can certainly contact me at any time. Would love to. Any questions I can answer. That is V Lobdell. It's VLOBDELLJR at healthway.com, and that's healthway.com.
Oh, you just gave them all your email. That's great.
That's okay. They can email me. They can email me anytime. I've got a fantastic team that can support me, and we'd be happy to educate you and give you any insight and any issues.
Awesome. So for all of my guests that I have on the podcast, I always ask them the same question, and I'd love to hear what your answer is. And the question is pertaining to this podcast. The question is about, we've created this forum, this space, this community, the idea that we are all radically loved, radically supported by God, source, whatever higher power of your understanding. And the idea is that the universe works for us and not against us. And so you is, how do you feel radically loved?
First, I'm the type of person that looks at every in a positive way. No matter what it is, I feel there's only one way to move forward. There's two ways to move forward, and only one moves you in the right direction. I feel radically loved because I have the most fantastic family and wife and children, and I'm just in a position where I continue to be inspired by them and radically loved by them, I guess. I hope
that, of course, that does. I love that so much. Thank you so much for sharing your love and your passion and your work with us. As I said, I really do think that you're a crusader in this space, and I am so honored and privileged to be in your orbit. Thank you so much for everything that you do, and I'm so excited to continue to have this conversation with you. Please come back and see us. Thank you so much.
I certainly will. I certainly will, and I think everyone on our team is really excited about this opportunity as well. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Vinny. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, go ahead and leave us a review or share with your friends or anybody who you think would benefit from this conversation. Thank you all so much for listening and for watching. We'll see you soon. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I am so excited to continue to do this. Please share this with your friends. Email us, message us on Instagram at Rosie Acosta or on Twitter at Rosie Acosta. Subscribe on iTunes, write a review. We love doing this, so please help us continue to keep this podcast going. Thanks for listening.